Hey guys, this is me bringing you GPA Week 8 versus Midflow. Week 7 match was versus Jason. I don't know what happened to the replay, but we don't have it. So we're just gonna have to set up for this. Or it's not settling per se, so we're gonna have to miss that match. All I know is I won 5-0. I smashed him. He had rain. Well, his team is well, it's semi-rain. Like he has Pelipper Noivern, not Noivern, Kingdra. That's his rain core. There's nothing more to it. So like, call that what you want. So, but anyway, we smashed him. So basically, that locked our playoffs for the first time in GPA history. Finally make playoffs. It happens to be the one I recorded, which is cool, I guess, but now we're taking on Mythlo. It's basically the last position in playoffs is between Mythlo and Jason. The only reason Mythlo has a chance is because I smashed Jason last week. 5-0. Otherwise, Mythlo really wouldn't have a chance. Basically, Mythlo has to beat me or has to not lose 4-0 or worse. So basically, we just can't smash him, and he makes playoffs. And 4-0 in my favor would mean that he ties with Jason, but Jason won the 1v1, so Mythlo would obviously then miss. Because we confirmed our third seed. Well, no, we haven't confirmed third seed. We've confirmed our playoffs, because our differential is like, it's 9 at this point, and their differential, I know Jason's is -1, and then Mythlo's is +3. So even if the only way would be, no, there's no way, because yeah, we've confirmed our playoffs basically. That's all we need to know. But basically now, it comes down to Mythlo and Jason. So obviously my match has implications, not for me, but for Mythlo, our opponent. So, yeah. So we'll get into it. You can see the 6 we brought. You can see the 6 he brought. He had some other things on his team, such as Vaporeon, Cyllage, Florges, Haxorus, and Rillaboom. I predicted everything except for Gardevoir Pangoro. I had Vaporeon and Florges over it, but I'm perfectly fine with what he brought. Actually, that's probably more optimal, but so the 6 we brought, you can see them, but the sets are Scarf Victini with Glaciate, Spadef Mantine with enough speed for Pangoro, Max Defense Miltank for Darmanitan, mixed, or primarily physically, basically it's Sucker Punch, Ice Beam, Rock Slide, CC, the Naughty Nature, enough speed for Volcarona, Ice Beam obviously for Gliscor. Assault Vest Conkeldurr, the first week we have not brought Flame Orb. It's Assault Vest, Drain Punch, Rock Slide, Ice Punch, Mach Punch, primarily Volcarona, or it's built more so for Volcarona, but then we have Swords Dance, Megahorn, Aqua Tail, Protect, Scolipede, Life Orb. Distinct 6-0s him the moment it comes in if Gyarados is Mega'd. So that's I guess that's our game plan. Just force the Gyarados Mega, which Victini does, by the way. Okay, so Victini doesn't necessarily force it to, but if Gyarados wants to stay in and kill Victini, then he's forced to Mega. Basically, the only way is, since I'm Scarf, I Bolt Strike him, and if he's in regular, Gyarados dies. If he's in Mega, then he's relatively easily lives. It's not that close. It's like, it does like 74, 75. He does about in the 70s. And then obviously that doesn't necessarily force the Mega, because you just go hard Gliscor. But if he wants to stay in and kill Victini, then obviously he has to Mega. But basically, lead preview, Victini is really good, but Gyarados might be a little bit annoying, and Gliscor, since I'm Choice Scarf, it takes hits relatively easily. Mantine is decent Volcarona answer, but It's also, I'm glad he brought Pangoro because I was speedy enough for it. So we're good. We're covering Pangoro. It's Choice Scarf, and then Choice Scarf. It just isn't that good versus me, really, because my defensive mons are slower, and my offensive mons are all 3 faster. So here we are. Probably Scarf Darm, Quiver Dance Volcarona, Banded Pangoro, Toxic Orb, Gliscor. I'm not sure which Gliscor he is. It could be Swords Dance, but like faster Absol that Oko's, I'm not sure about that one. But Gardevoir I'm not sure on either. And then Gyarados is probably just DD, just because DD can sweep me relatively easily actually. But we have Bolt Strike into Mach Punch though, so we're probably fine. Note the probably. But yeah. So let's get right into it. So I opt to lead with my Absol. Absol matched up extremely well. Rock Slide for this, Ice Beam for this, Rock Slide / Sucker Punch for this. I'd probably just swap out because like the issue was like his answers to Absol would be Darm or Gyarados, and I don't think he'd lead Gyarados. Gyarados doesn't really make sense as a lead. And Darm, I have a physically defensive Miltank. So, and then obviously Gardevoir, but I have Mantine for that, so worst case scenario is he would T-Bolt the swap, which probably still wouldn't Oko me, and then I still have a safe Conkeldurr, assuming he's Choice, which I'm assuming if he's Choice, he'd probably Scarf just to outspeed Absol, but again, I'm not 100% sure what the Gardevoir is. But anyway, he opts to lead Pangoro. I outspeed this thing and I'm aware, so I just opt to Mega and CC. He goes into Gliscor, does reveal the Toxic Orb, and I'm just gonna throw off my Ice Beam, no reason to predict, as he stacks his Gliscor, which pretty much means Scolipede wins if Gyarados Megas. Because that was the only thing that could really take a hit, and then you could Earthquake me, and then maybe put me in Bullet Punch range after like a Life Orb hit. So it's maybe. But now that that's gone, all I have to do is force the Mega on Gyarados and I win. Because now he can't even go into Gliscor on the Bolt Strike pivot, which means he's really just forced to stay in on Victini and take the Bolt Strike to the face. There's nothing stopping that then. But even Absol here, like Absol still pretty much gets a kill when it comes in on Pangoro or Volcarona. So yeah, I tried to abuse that a bit, but I guess he didn't expect me to have Ice Beam, because in the chat he said, well, okay then. But he also goes Gyarados. I'm just going to opt to go my hard Victini, because he obviously wouldn't crunch there. So, the Dragon Dance was obvious, I guess, is all I'm saying. But if I had Thunder, it was a wrap, but I did not. Or T-Bolt. I don't know if you get T-Bolt. I think it does, but I'm not 100%. But opposite Dragon Dance. Victini, as I said, if he stays regular, then he dies. If he Megas, then Scolipede wins. This forces the Mega, as I Bolt Strike, the 76, as he crunches Okos me, perfectly fine. I still have Mach Punch and protect Scolipede, so like, again, this is not a problem. And I have Sucker Punch on Absol, if worse comes to worse. But I go Conkeldurr. I think the Mach Punch is obvious, so I figured he'd go Gardevoir. Like, and I knew I wouldn't die to even if he clicked Waterfall. I still knew I wouldn't die to that, so I did calc that. Like, I knew this wasn't too risky. Like, obviously, a lot, but sorry, getting a sip of water. I knew it was risky, obviously, but worst case scenario is Waterfall flinches me, and then I still Mach Punch after. Like, the worst, okay, I guess worst case scenario would be it crits me here. That would be the worst. But even then, Miltank still guarantee lives a hit. And I would have to get flinched with water. Basically, he would have to get extremely lucky still to win this game with this mon right here. So, again, I'm not concerned about this mon. But I Ice Punch on there. I just Mach Punch here. There's a reason to predict. As he goes Gardevoir, he gets the Iron Fist, doesn't matter. I just got my Absol because I did not think he would Moonblast there. And yeah, I just didn't think he'd Moonblast there. As he teleports, which doesn't reveal much to me. He can still be choiced, he just opts to have teleport on that set, which is odd, but 23 reveals that he's Scarf, I think? Not 100% on that, but opts to bring in Pangoro, as I'm just planning on sacking Conkeldurr as he knocks off, which is the problem with Pangoro in this match. Did I mention it? I know I mentioned it before I started recording, just thinking of what I was going to say, but Pangoro, the problem with Pangoro here is it's forced to either click close combat or knock off. Because if he knocks off, then Absol and Conk come in. If he drain or CCs, then Victini comes in, Mantine comes in, and Scolipede all come in. And the problem with CC is if he CCs and he's choiced, then Scolipede wins the game. But at this point, there's absolutely nothing stopping Scolipede. So, he really can't click close combat. Because that was my thought process going into Conk here, is for one, I expected it to knock off. For two, if he clicked CC, it was perfectly fine. Because if he revealed no Life Orb, then Scolipede won. Because he'd be choice would be really the only other option. But, or if he revealed Life Orb, then I'd just go Absol and CC. And, yeah. But, he knocks off on the Conkeldurr. He does not reveal an item, which means he is probably choiced. I think I calced, but I don't remember. I don't think that was banded. I'm pretty sure that was not banded, but I'm not 100% on that. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't remember the damage or how much choice was doing to me, but he drops the Ring in Gardevoir as he swaps out, obviously, into Gardevoir. Here I just throw off an Ice Punch, predicting Gardevoir, because, again, he knew he wouldn't die. Ice Punch does 51, which, again, I don't remember the damage, but I think the reveal is that he's, like, max HP, I think. But he also Moonblast, fair play, onto Miltank. Miltank, I think, yeah, does outspeed here, so I just stall him out of a Moonblast for a little bit as Pangoro comes in. And again, my thought process is, if he CCs, I win the game. Okay, no. I remember. I was still concerned about him not being choiced. Because I think the issue was that... Yeah, the issue was that that was not banded damage. Therefore, if he opted to go something like Lum, then I was screwed and was gonna get knocked off onto Pangoro, Scolipede, which means he could knock off into Bullet Punch. I think I would die to Life Orb at that moment. Therefore, Scolipede obviously would not get the win. So, I think that was my thought process. And so, obviously, I just go Absol. I CC here saying the safe play as Volcarona comes in. Hopefully not to get Flame Body, and I don't get Flame Body, and I just Rock Slide, kill the Volcarona. And then Darm comes in, I still have a whole Miltank, this takes 22. I mean, this match is not over, but it's not looking good. He goes Pangoro. I knew Pangoro was coming in, but, like, I thought about T-Waving there, but I knew it didn't ultimately matter. But he helps to bring in Pangoro. As he CCs, it does not kill me. I Seismic Toss here, just to get Chip off. I just go Scolipede here. Why not? I knew I'd take nothing, and I guess I was just preserving differential. That was really, yeah, I was just preserving. Here, I think I just raw Aqua Tail. No, ISD. Because at this point, I was like, there's no way you're not choiced. Because I think you would have knocked off there had you been Lum. So, and I guess I just didn't expect him to be choiced. I didn't expect him to be Lum at that point. He was just playing it as if he was not Lum. He was playing it as if he was choiced. But anyway, he goes Darm. I get my SD up, get the +1 speed. Aqua Tail is my most accurate move, therefore I kill that. He does reveal the Bullet Punch. I miss Aqua Tail, doesn't matter, but I go for Aqua Tail again. I hit the Pangoro for the kill, then I hit the Gardevoir for the kill, and I sweep the Scolipede. I must say, this match was over the moment Gyarados Mega'd. And the issue was that even if Gyarados did not Mega, you didn't have a Bolt Strike swap in. Therefore, you had to sack something else. So, like, and even, Scully wouldn't even die to anything from Gyarados if it was regular, because he's Crunch Earthquake, therefore Earthquake was probably it was your best move to hit me. Unless he had last move, like Waterfall, which doesn't make sense considering the fact that you went for Earthquake when Waterfall was clearly stronger. So, I guess, I think that this match was, again, over once Gyarados Mega'd. I think his matchup was really tough. Mine was too, though. Like, I took a minute to prep for this, because I could not decide which Absol set. I changed it to Ice Beam Rock Slide the last minute. Originally, I was Swords there. Like, originally, I had Banded Victini as the Absol with Flame Orb Conch, and then, like, 3 attacks, Protect, Scolipede, and then I completely threw that out, and just kept the Mons, but changed every one of the sets. Like, the Mantine and Miltank stayed the same. I knew I needed... Miltank was the first one I put on this team, obviously, because Darm's a threat. But... even, like, Miltank wouldn't appreciate Superpower, but... I completely threw out, like, the first iteration of the team and said, no, I like this just a little bit more. Then I obviously changed Bandit Victini to Scarf. I changed SD Absol to 4 attacks, Ice Beam. I changed Flame Orb Conch to Assault Vest. And then I changed 3 attacks, Protect, Scolipede. Basically just changed Poison Jab to Swords Dance. And then obviously everything kind of came into play. Like, all the swaps, like, if I had been banded, obviously I would have died here, but I was Scarf, therefore I got the Bolt Strike chip. The only one that really didn't matter too much was the Conch. I guess it was yeah, Assault Vest really didn't make a difference here, but, I also think that, I don't remember why, I guess I could have just technically stayed in, but I didn't think he'd Moonblast there, and I was right, so I'll take it. Obviously, Ice Beam Rock Slide came into play with Absol. Obviously, SD came into play with Scolipede. Even if I didn't have SD, though, I won. Everything died still. The only difference was Pangoro, I would have had to click Mega Horn versus Aqua Tail versus... That would have been the only difference. And it still would have died to Mega Horn at neutral at this range, but... Still. I just wouldn't have had to click Aqua... I wouldn't have been able to click Aqua Tail, which had to hit Mega Horn, which... It's not that hard. It's still 85, and Aqua Tail's 90, so it's not that big of a difference. But we pulled through 4-0, which is exactly what Mythlo did not need, because basically this puts him in -1 differential, which means Jason is tied with him for differential, but Jason won the 1v1, therefore Jason made playoffs. Which, I'll actually talk about that in playoffs, because it ended up Mythlo actually made playoffs instead of Jason, but, well, I can talk about it here, but I was going to mention something else afterwards, but, which is more iconic than anything, but, Mythlo ended up making playoffs instead of Jason, because Jason was kind of just disappeared, so, since Mythlo was the next seed, he made it instead of Jason, and, like, I don't know, if I hadn't 4-0'd him, then he would have made it anyway, but I did, so. But, yeah. And I guess I will see you guys in semis, or quarters. It's quarters, yeah. Because, top 4 from each division. No, yeah, it's quarters. We'll be taking on Sean. Or 5 E-A-N. I call him Sean. Just because. We end 5-3, which is our best record ever. Last season we did 4-4. 4.5 we won, but that was like an off season more so than anything. Like, we still had all the good players, like Cal. Cal was still in it, but I actually smashed Cal. I didn't smash Cal, but I actually was getting smashed, and then I won with, like, the Cephalon, which I will always remember that match. But, But yeah, we pulled through versus Mythlo, who I know is pretty solid. Obviously, this would have knocked him out of playoffs, but he got a bit lucky with Jason, obviously not being alive. But he showed up not to afterwards, but it's too late at that point. Sucks to be him, but it's on him. But yeah, I guess I will see you guys, the Valdosta V creator in playoffs in GPA. So yeah, I will see you guys whenever that goes up.